Good day, everyone. Today we are going to look at a verse that seems simple on the surface, but carries one of the deepest challenges Jesus ever gave to his followers. Matthew 6 verse 19 says, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal." At first glance, this might sound like Jesus is against money, against success, or against having nice things. But that is not the heart of what he is saying. Jesus is not condemning wealth itself. He is warning us about where we place our trust, our security, and our identity. Think about the world Jesus lived in. There were no banks with steel vaults, no digital accounts, no insurance policies. People stored their treasure in physical forms: grain, fine clothing, gold, and silver. And Jesus points out three very real dangers to these earthly treasures. Moths could quietly destroy fine garments that people considered valuable. Vermin, or rust, could corrode metal and grain stores from the inside, unseen, until the damage was already done. And thieves could break through mud walls in the night and steal everything a person had worked a lifetime to gain. In one sentence, Jesus dismantles the illusion that earthly treasure is truly safe. This message is just as relevant today, maybe even more so. We modernize the metaphor and it still holds true. Our moths and rust today might be inflation eating away at savings, technology making yesterday's valuable possessions obsolete overnight, or health failing despite a life built around comfort and possessions. Our thieves might be market crashes, sudden job loss, or circumstances completely outside our control. No matter how advanced our security systems become, nothing on this earth is immune to loss. Jesus is teaching us a timeless truth. Anything you can hold in your hand can be taken out of your hand. So what is God's message to us through this verse? I believe it is this: God is inviting us to examine our hearts and ask, what am I truly living for? Jesus continues in verse 21 by saying, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." This is the real key to understanding the passage. Treasure is not just about money. Treasure is about whatever you pour your time, your energy, your worry, and your affection into. It could be a career, a reputation, a relationship, or even an ambition. Whatever holds first place in your pursuit reveals what actually rules your heart. God is not saying that having earthly things is wrong. Scripture is filled with examples of faithful people who had wealth and resources: Abraham, Job, Joseph. The issue was never possession, but position. Where does that treasure sit in your life? Is it a tool in your hand, or has it quietly become the throne of your heart? When we build our whole identity and security around something temporary, we set ourselves up for deep disappointment, because everything temporary eventually fades, breaks, or disappears. This is why, right after this verse, Jesus tells us to instead store up treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. What does that mean practically? It means investing in what is eternal: our relationship with God, our character, the love we show others, the kindness we extend, the way we use our resources to bless people rather than merely accumulate for ourselves. These are treasures that no economic downturn, no thief, no decay can ever touch. They are secured, forever, in eternity. There is also a deeper comfort hidden inside this teaching. Jesus is not simply issuing a command. He is offering freedom. Think about how much anxiety comes from clinging tightly to things that can be lost. The person whose whole identity rests on their bank account lives in constant fear of the market. The person whose whole worth is tied to their job title lives in fear of being replaced. But the person who has learned to hold earthly things loosely, while placing their true trust in God, experiences a peace that circumstances cannot shake. This is the freedom Jesus is offering. Not poverty, but perspective. So today, God's message through this verse is an invitation to reflect honestly. Where have you been placing your treasure? Is your peace, your identity, your sense of worth resting on something that could be gone tomorrow? Or is it anchored in something eternal, your relationship with God, your integrity, the love you sow into others' lives? This is not a call to abandon responsibility or ambition. It is a call to reorder priorities, to hold earthly things with an open hand, and to invest deeply in what truly lasts. As we close, let this verse settle in your heart, not as a rule, but as wisdom from a Father who loves you and does not want to see you crushed under the weight of chasing things that were never meant to satisfy your soul. Store up treasures that moths cannot eat, that rust cannot corrode, and that no thief can ever steal, treasures of faith, of love, of eternal purpose. Because in the end, wherever your treasure truly lies, that is exactly where your heart will follow.